Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're on Project Cars 2 for PlayStation for the final round of the Pagnian Imports RS01 trophy. Tonight's round is at Circuit of the Americas GP, and we're heading into a very tight, close final round. Tonight's race is a little bit different to our normal two race sessions. It's just the one large race, and it's worth the big points. 240 points is up for grabs for the winner of tonight's race. So we're heading over into 15 minutes of practice. Weather is heavy cloud, then 15 minutes of qualifying. Weather is medium cloud, and the final race is 27 laps around Circuit of the Americas, and the weather will progress from heavy cloud, light cloud to clear, and there is a mandatory pit requirement. Last week, after the fourth round, we have Gallon 350 head into the championship lead with 766 points, only 60 points ahead of DK Rush on 706 points. Sami also not far behind on 696. We're in with 676. Philly on 651, and Demon not too far behind. He would need to see a disconnect from our top runners to be able to steal a championship win, but he's definitely in for a shot for us. Spot on the podium. So we had Philly in the sprint race last week after qualifying third, taking victory in the first race. We've seen Gallon 350 taking the fastest lap bonus points, and in the main race where qualified third took the win, and then we saw DK Rush take the fastest lap bonus points. And of course our drivers are all competing for the next level racing wheel stand light. So one of our lucky drivers tonight will become the proud owner of one of these, courtesy of our sponsors Pagnian Advanced Simulation, and that's pagnianimports.com.au, and then Next Level Racing. So a great prize up for grabs. So we are very stoked to be able to have that on offer. And of course we are in the United States of America for Circuit of the Americas GP. Track length is 5.51 kilometers and there are 20 turns. The game session time will be starting at 9 AM with the heavy cloud conditions. That's probably going to be some relatively cool track temperatures. It will be interesting just to see how the drivers go with their tyre choices heading into the race. As usually, our longer stint races are simulated to be in the mid-afternoon, so usually starting at about 2 PM. So those track temperatures are going to be much different, being an earlier race for the longer stint. Missing a couple of drivers. Hopefully we will join in during the practice and qualifying. We have Balaki back with us after missing last week after breaking his wrist. Unable to drive that night as he literally only broke it just in the hours before the start of the race. He did actually join in the lobby, hoping he could have a go at trying to get around with no issues. But it was not feasible. You can see it's quite shady on the track currently with those heavy cloud conditions. It's going to be a tad slippery out on track. Don't forget, if you're joining in for the stream, make yourself known in the chat, say hello, use those sound effects as well. You can play some cheers, applause, boos, all sorts of other fun sound effects over the stream. So those controls are underneath the video on your computer or device that you're using. Don't forget to hit that follow button if you're only just joining us. We do appreciate the growing support for Apex Esports League. Gallon was rather wary of his internet issues. He was having some NBN issues with connectivity and not being in a great spot to be able to hotspot to. We managed to get those technical issues sorted. Reports of what the guys were mentioning in practice times that they were getting some very quick times. It's going to be quite interesting just to see how they go. as it is more of an endurance race this time around. So just being quick isn't necessarily going to prevail for them. Oh, a few connection issues going on. That's a yellow car. That's Gallen. Looks like he's froze. We saw a hang on like this happen to DG a while ago. And it looks like he did just disconnect. Gallen having some issues. Hopefully it's not his internet dropping back out. There is 12 minutes of practice. At least to be able to get it sorted and back into the lobby. Coming 5th in the championship. He's going to be needing to ensure he gets a very strong qualifying position as well as finishing strong in the race. There's 25 points up for grabs for pole position. And sitting on 651 points with Gallen at 766. Got a bit of a gap to make up for it. Main goal will be to finish very strongly in the race. Not too far behind. He's only about 40 points more, 45 points ahead of Philly. Sitting very tight. Then we have that's not who I was looking for, and we're as well sitting on with 676 points. It's only 20 points behind Sami. This is probably the closest championship that we've had, where we've had good 5 or 6 of our top on the ladder actually all contending for the championship coming into the final round. Could very well come down to a few qualifying positions or even the fastest lap bonus points, so there's 10 points up for grabs for just securing the fastest lap of the race. So even that can play part of the strategy. And over the course of 27 laps around Circuit of the Americas, pit strategy is going to be key to ensuring they get a very strong finish. Blarkey's just been having some issues going off track, running wide. He's just validated his current lap time. Sami's come through for the quickest time so far at 2 minute, finding it a little bit slippery around that corner. Hopefully we see Gallen get back in. Oh, there's a little bit of a lag spike. It looks like someone may be joining. Gallen has rejoined the session, so we should see him back up on the board in a moment. And we'll jump on board for a lap with someone around Circuit of the Americas. DK Rush being the closest competitor to our championship leader Gallen. 60 points behind Gallen. Taking a pole position. We're getting 25 points. That's going to get him that a little bit closer. Currently coming 7th in the championship. He's got 500 points, 96 points behind Demon Effects. Gallen's back in. There's no issues for him going on this time. and running the wipers again. And thanks to my son, he's actually sitting up late to watch a bit of the start of the round. He actually does cheer on Gallon, so he's got a fan over at my household. So Gallon did say he was going to drive again in the practice with the wipers on and the lights on as well. He definitely won't be doing that in the qualifying though. He did say that it is rather distracting, and it would be, as you can hear from the noise of the wipers going. So thank you very much, Gallon. I'm sure Jaden is very happy to see that. I did just get a big smile from him, so yes, he was pleased with that. And cool boy, yes, we did send you out another invite as well, if you're able to get in for the session, if you've managed to get your new console all sorted. We saw Mick Cliff last week being first time out in with us on the Logitech G29. He has been doing it all from the controller. He's on the wheel. I'm sure we're going to see some fantastic battling with Mick tonight. Mick suffering lots of disconnect issues, having been disconnected in the first race and the second race right at the end. Actually crossing the line towards that back end, but then ended up getting thrown on the borders, being disconnected right at that back spot. Quite disappointing for Mick. Hopefully no connection issues for him tonight. Still Sami coming through with the quickest time. See who we can get on board for a lap. We have DK. He didn't want me to jump on board with him for anything, so we'll do it on a practice lap so we don't give him the commentator's curse. He didn't want me to do it to him, so we can't ruin things for him whilst on the practice lap. So on board for a lap around Coda GP. Very sharp turn one. We did jinx him too. He's going to rather we jumped on board and he did actually spin. Not sure if he was actually even seeing the stream as it happened as well. So that was incredibly bad lucky. Let's see who else we can find. There we go. So on for a start of a lap. Hopefully we don't jinx Mick Cliff. Those track conditions still pretty slippery, especially on the crest coming around that sharp left-hand corner. But a very fast sector one, where a lot of time can be made hitting those apexes perfectly. You can see a huge amount of speed be carried through to the back end of sector one. Mick doing very well, just crossing of sector 1.2 quicker than his best. Ooh, a little bit slippery on that curb. You see how uneven the surface is of the track. They do actually curve a fair bit in on the inside of the tracks. Lots of hairpins. So a very sharp hairpin. So coming down the back straight of the track. Is the longest straight of the track. Getting a good run out of that hairpin is going to be advantageous here. Coming into sector 3 and he's still keeping that same pace. So double hairpin. Plus into a couple of dog legs as well. And a very long wide hairpin. Can throw a lot of drivers off on that second exit apex. Oh, it's slippery for him coming through the second last corner. He's making his way into the pits. then that is a lap around Circuit of the Americas and also a trip into the pit lane. Phillies come through with 159.666. Did hear that in the practice some of the guys were getting 158s. As I was mentioning, those quick lap times may not necessarily mean victory in the long race. They're going to have to try and get those tyres to last out. And I do believe the game actually does front and back tyres at different times. So if they opt to swap out all 4 tyres, they will be in there for a longer pit stop. We've seen most drivers in the last couple of rounds lasting out on the set of softs for the race. However, they were starting to get very skatey towards the back end. 27 laps around Circuit of the Americas is going to be rather grueling on the tyres. So will they be aiming for that midsection mark and then opt to go for the soft tyres? Or they manage to go for the hard compound and try and last it out, or even do a mix of it. There's 59 seconds remaining of practice. It's a terrible angle trying to get Demon effects there. We had Marky Mark getting some great pace last week. Seeing him land his first podium with Apex eSports League in the main race. He qualified 7th in the main race and then took 3rd. Having issues in the sprint race after qualifying 6th, dropping back to 12th. So a brilliant comeback in the main race where the big points count. And that has seen him up at 8th in the championship, 375 points. Falling behind T-Rex, who's sitting on 500. There is practice session complete. Drivers now on their last laps around. Philly, the only driver to break past the 2-minute mark. Our first 7 drivers all within that 2 minutes. Then Mick Cliff seeing in with a 2:01. We're at a 2:02. However, I have a feeling that's probably going to definitely be shaved off in the qualifying. Seems to be a thing with Wera. Tends to show a little bit slower pace in the practice, and then he does some astounding laps. You know, he's got these wipers going and a smashed windscreen. Something's been going on for him. He's taken some heavy damage at some stage. Gallen setting a 2-minute 7:06. There's not a whole lot of time separating the cars. It's 5.9 seconds separating 12 cars. Well, Simo's just improved that time. 5.5 seconds is not much in it. Crosses the line, ending his practice session. That's just remaining Gallen out on track. They're about to head over into 15 minutes of qualifying. DK Rush actually taking the quickest time right at the end, almost breaking past the 159s. It's landing a 159.041. So bringing that time very late to the session. Hopefully he can push that through into the qualifying as well. They only have 15 minutes to get that qualifying time set. With how tight these guys are for points on the championship ladder, this qualifying position could make or break a championship win. had a lot of championships where we've had drivers go into the final round, and all they had to do was basically just finish clean without losing any points, any at-fault incidents, and they basically had already won. Almost to the point where if they just didn't show up and didn't get any points, they could still actually win the championship. We've had a couple of close ones with 2 or 3 drivers, but not potentially 6 cars all having a shot at taking the win. And there's a lot at stake as well. That next level racing wheel stand light is the prize up for grabs. It's a fantastic prize. Demon looking to try and find that spot on the podium. So doing some calculations with Demon taking a clean sweep in tonight's round. Wouldn't be enough points to take the championship win. Would possibly just be enough to scrape in if they all suffer disconnects. So he definitely has an opportunity to bump down a couple of guys down so you can take that spot on the podium at the end. And where will be the one to keep an eye out for in the qualifying. He's probably going to come through with a blisteringly quick time. I'm not sure if he maybe strategizing in the practice sessions by not showing what the pace he is capable of and then just leaves it for the qualifying. Perhaps he's actually testing out his race setups in the practice session and already has his qualifying set up down pack, ready just to jump in and go. Filling in the matching Vazmat colours. That 1:59 in the practice. The game session time has now progressed to 10 AM. Weather conditions have cleared slightly, so there's now medium cloud cover. Track isn't looking as dark. Track temperatures will start to see a slight increase. We're definitely going to see track temperatures increase towards the back end of the race. Time progression is ×2. And the race will be starting at 11 AM. And then we'll progress from the heavy cloud cover through to clear. Putting those hard compound tyres will probably do rather well towards the back end of the race. Not so much probably in the first part, because the track temperatures are pretty cool. They're going to have to be working hard to try and keep those temperatures up to be able to make the hard tyres still give enough grip to put down some decent lap times in those early stages of the race. Whereas had a spin. Back into the pits. Philly, look at that, brings in a 158.9 on his first timed lap, completely destroying the 159 from the practice session. Perhaps those slightly warmer track temperatures now playing a much bigger part. These cars probably putting down a lot more grip at the moment. Even Demon FX in the 159s, Marky Mark setting a 159 as well. We're seeing these for the first times. We're going to be seeing some very fast times done by the end of the session. We still have the Apex Esports League stubby cooler up for grabs. No one's been able to get the accurate prediction for the win. So you do have until the start of the race to go to our Facebook page. So it is down the bottom of our stream. It's the facebook.com/Apex Esports League. You will see the post that we shared at 7:30 saying we are live with the final round. So all you got to do is share that post and write whoever you think it is that's going to win. So if you are going to be picking Philly, once you hit share on that post, just type in Philly Manili for the win, and that way I'll be able to keep track of all those posts that get shared and be able to put those correct picks into the entry for the prize. And if you happen to be the only one that is getting it correct, then that means that prize is yours. Otherwise, if you get it, it'll be a ticket into the entry and randomly drawn. Demon Effects stealing pole away at 1:58.466. That looks like, I think it may have been Dirty Monkey that was just off track. Midcliff in with 2 minutes. It's bringing that car in at the moment. 2:01 for T-Rex. Dirty Monkey sitting at 2:03. Well, having some first lap issues. As well as Sami. So he must have gone for a spin on that first timed lap. He's setting a 2:16, same as Balaki. The good thing with Circuit of the Americas, there are plenty of safe spaces to run off track where you won't take damage. They can generally recover the car. There's only 7 minutes remaining of the qualifying. Join us for the stream and do let us know who you are here cheering on for, who you think is going to take the win. We see our current championship leader is leading by 60 points. We have a strong result in qualifying and did not timing that. I think it's a later pit line. It should be there. Not getting on, so a little bit late out, otherwise he may have actually made contact or cut track, invalidating his lap time. Going to have to try and get up towards that top end. Those points are definitely going to count when he's only 60 points ahead of DK Rush. Going to need to get a time on the board. Demon looking pretty well with a 1:58.466. It's a whole half a second quicker than Philly's time, and Philly's time is still phenomenal at 1:58.983. Sami having a much better second lap around, setting a 1:59.223. There's not a whole lot of difference between Sami and Wira. That's a 2:23 and a 2:52, but it's a very small difference, very similarly paced. And we did see Wira setting some great qualifying times last week. We did see a swap around between Gallon and Wira, swapping in the 1-2s. There's 4 minutes 50 remaining for qualifying. Don't forget, if you are just joining us for our stream, do hit that follow button. You will be notified when we go live. We do broadcast Project Cars 2 every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Next week we are starting the Ferrari 488 Challenge. It's going to be a fantastic series. And we also broadcast iRacing on Monday night, same time, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We are starting the NASCAR Cup. So you can see the Camaro, Mustang and Camry battle it out on the ovals. We're going to have a lot of drivers on there. It's going to be plenty of close racing action. There's plenty to see, and you can always go back and see all our past broadcasts. Our Facebook link is down below. That's the bit.ly/apexesl. That is our shortened link for our YouTube channel. As Twitch does not keep all our broadcasts indefinitely, you get to keep them on there for a couple of weeks and they disappear, so they do get all saved across to YouTube, so you can go back through there and catch all the previous action from our drivers and even just see how they've progressed, as we've had some very long-standing drivers, which is Gallon, who I think is our longest running member currently. I do believe he was in the first series that we did run. It's over a year ago. And then from running back to midfield to multiple championship wins, it's been great seeing Gallon progress throughout the time he's been running. And even all our drivers starting to get very similarly paced to each other. We did start to see a fair bit of gapping going on the grids. However, that has actually really started to change. The drivers completely developing and usually leaving 3 or 4 seconds in some qualifying sessions between each other. And all the drivers do help each other out in practice sessions during the week in preparation for the races, and always happy to share setups and friendly tips to help each other, so it's great to see. And if you do want to get involved in any of our races, you can find out more information by going to our Facebook page. There is a link to our group so you can get involved in our races. And we also do have an Android app that has links to all that if you do search for Apex eSports League on the Google Play Store. We're definitely coming through with quicker qualifying time. Practice session, I think he is at 2:02, 2:01 from memory. Correct me if I'm wrong. So he's come in with a 1:59. Not going to take much to move up a couple of spots. But Demon Effects still holding that quickest time. It's been hard to beat. We'll bring up just what his last time was. It's quite slower one. Been out there for 5 laps. Last lap seeing a 2:05. Billy has had an issue with there, so that's ended his qualifying session. So there's only 45 seconds remaining. Not going to be able to defend that time. Only needs to shave 100th off his time. He can easily take that position 2 away. Our championship leader Gallon also into the pits, so he's qualifying in the 7th position. 60 points ahead of DK Rush. DK currently qualifying in 6th position, something marginally ahead. Ooh, and he's not going to be able to improve that. He's practicing going into the pits. So it's very advantageous for Gallon. DK only just qualifying 1 position ahead of him. Gallon will be scoring 13 points and DK 15 points, only 2 points difference. Demon doing very well with the pole time so far, especially if he wants to try and have a shot at getting a go on the podium for the championship finish. He's looking at 25 points to start him off onto that lead. He could then very well follow it through with another 240 points for a win. And even if he's going to keep pace up like that, if he can get those 10 bonus points, that is 275 points that can be taken for a clean sweep tonight. So can Demon Effects keep this pace up and do that? Sami correcting that car a little bit. I think it may have been a little bit of a latency issue. He slid that car, so it's not going to improve his position. And we're a still pole position. He's got 60 seconds remaining to finish up this last lap. He's on the second last corner. There's no room for mistakes here. It'll end him. He must have been happy with his time, so he's bringing that car in. That only leaves Demon Effects out on track. No one is out there to be able to steal that pole position away. Demon is starting the final race from position 1. Well done, Demon Effects, a 1:58.460 being that pole setting time. So it's a whole half a second quicker than Philly's time, and that is still very quick, a 1:58.9. Then we have the rest of the field. Starting from that order is Sami in third, followed by Wira, Marky Mark, DK, Rush, Gallen, Mickcliff, T-Rex, Dirty Monkey, Simo Simzel, and Balaki. And I just need to ensure I screenshot. I completely forgot if I took the first image, as I do have to scroll down the page to get everyone on the screen. So we'll be heading over, ready for the final race of the series. And Balaki's just dropped out. Not sure if that's a disconnect or if maybe... Oh no, he has rejoined in. That means he's going to miss the start of the race. Not sure if he's probably jumping in just to watch it, as he is trying to race with a broken wrist. So if he's got that wrist in a cast, it would be rather difficult to be trying to drive. And Gallen also mentioning that he's sporting a little bit of an injury after getting his jab yesterday, having a little bit of a dead arm from some side effects. Having said, he's also turned the force feedback down a little bit to try and compensate for it. Having a little bit of a dead arm could definitely impact that, and then dealing with heavy force feedback would definitely put some strain on that arm over the course of 27 laps. However, the force feedback is very reliable in being able to feel what the car is doing on track, since you don't get those motion effects of brake fade or tyre slip. Really kind of need that force feedback, so he could be putting himself at a slight disadvantage still. Drivers do have 2 minutes to load up those setups and pit strategies. If they do get that wrong, it's potentially going to cost them victory. They've all hit that ready button, so we're not seeing them start as a DQ. And the light's about to go green for the finale of the RS01 trophy. And it's a very good getaway. All cars fairly evenly matched. Demon Effects pulls away very nicely. We've got Sami and Wira side by side coming into turn 1. Oh, they've made contact. That is Wira and Philly both making contact. There's now debris going out onto track. I'm not sure if that was a squeeze out. Oh, and Philly's gone for a spin, just only into the third corner. That's going to cost him a lot of positions. He doesn't take damage. Demon Effect still out in the lead. He's already got 2 seconds over the rest of the field, as we had Philly and Wira battling it out, as well as Sami. And And at-fault incident points is not what the drivers want to be facing here either, as they could potentially see a championship win taken away by way of penalty points. After we saw Wira get squeezed out, that could potentially be a instant going. Oh, a little bit slippery for DK. And those weather conditions have changed. The track temperatures are probably cooled off a little bit more compared. Oh, he's just had another run off. DK's has ran out wide. He's now dropped down the 10th position as he waits, or 11th position as he waits for the rest of the field to go through. Demo Simsel currently in 10th. Philly Manili dropping back into 9th position. Gallen also losing 1 position from qualifying. I think that was Mick Cliff that was, might have been Dirty Monkey that was actually just running quite wide. We have Mick Cliff, Marky Mark and T-Rex all closing in to battle it out for 4th position. Dami starting to close that gap down in on Wira. We're now trailing behind Demon FX by 3.4 seconds. It's just increased 3.6, 3.5, it's teetering. Demon showing some incredible pace on the first 2 laps. T-Rex now has Philly breathing down on his neck. Philly having much more pace in the qualifying. After going elbow to elbow with Wira, they may have taken some damage and then seeing Philly going for the spin, just only in those first few corners. Karen currently in 11th position. Demo closing down in on Mick Cliff. Also closing in on pretty quickly for DK. We saw DK really misjudge one of those corners and ran off wide, losing several positions. Philly still looking to get around T-Rex. T-Rex managing to hold him at bay for the time being. Marky Mark up in 4th position. He's got 1 second gap between the position behind him. There's Philly looking to make a go on that outside line down pit straight. May have been a bit premature. He's going to have to shave a lot of speed off to be able to make this corner, otherwise he's going to dive it. This is where we saw lap 1, turn 1, Philly and Wira door to door. He's still trying to close down in on Wira. Wira's managing to keep that gap still. However, he's not able to rein that gap in on Demon FX, who's out there laying down 2 minutes. That is a very quick lap time considering what the lap times we were seeing in the qualifying session. Running a full heavy load of fuel. That could pushing the car so early on be detrimental to him? Or is that going to be part of his pit strategy? Maybe he's out there on the softs. He's going to use that advantage to try and get ahead of the pack as much as possible. Philly did get around T-Rex, but Philly seeming to lose a little bit of pace. Was about a second quicker compared to T-Rex on that previous lap, allowing him to get around. Still a bit of a battle going down towards the back. DK currently running in 9th position. And it's both DK and Gallen who are our top contenders for the championship. A bit slippery out there for Gallen at the moment. Usually seeing Gallen and DK usually up towards that top end of the track at this point in time. They have dropped back. Philly finding that car a little bit slippery. Running the car slightly lighter on fuel compared to Demon Effects. Probably enough to get through. Philly has already taken a 2-second post-race time penalty. He's cut track and not abided by the slowdown. And over the course of 27 laps, it's probably going to be okay. However, you don't want to accrue too many, otherwise it's definitely going to put risk to costing a position. And with how close our drivers have crossed the line throughout this series, we have seen positions lost because of those time-second penalties, and most of the tracks for this series have been very strict on those track limits. They've been very tight, very technical, and very unforgiving. Demon Effects at the moment, not even probably aware that there's any other cars out on track. It's just like private testing for him at the moment. He's got 4.6 seconds between him and position 2. It's even just increased out to 5 seconds now. That's only on lap 4. He's putting down more than a second. Also, he's on lap 5 now, so that's 1 second for every lap that he's getting over these guys. We did see he was 2 seconds quicker on those first few opening laps. He's now setting at least 1 second quicker. However, difference in these lap times. Demon setting a 2 minute for that last time around. Philly battling it out with Marky Mark getting it side by side. He did yield and put that position back. It's a little bit risky to go for it. So Philly also setting a 2 minute. Oh, he's giving him a shunt, but that's put him into a spin. That's been costly. And it's possibly given some damage to Mark as well. That could very well also cost Philly some incident points. And if he's taken some front bar damage, that car's not going to be up to speed. He's going to have to start considering whether he pits in now. That's lap 5 of 27. If he hasn't planned for an early pit, that could jeopardize him at having a shot at getting a strong finish. That's now leaving Dirty Monkey to start to close that gap in. And a terrible camera angle there on that corner. T-Rex starting to close that gap in a little bit on Marky Mark. Mark may be having some rear downforce issues as well from that shunt from Philly. And it may have just put him off his game a little bit as well. T-Rex has been a pretty good lap. It was almost 1 second quicker than Marky Mark. Only 3 seconds that lap. I think Mark may be having some issues with the car after that shunt. Slightly different lines between them. This is the very technical S's, where you can get a good run. All has just had Mark run off wide. Really looks like that car isn't sort of holding that rear downforce. It seems to be a little bit loose on the back end. And these cars do suffer dramatically once they've taken that rear damage. We've seen the cars really struggle to make the corners once they've lost that rear wing. But it also applies to that back bar as well. If he's taken some aerodynamic damage on that back end, it's going to cost him several seconds per lap potentially, and risk of a slip. Demon Effects charging on out front, and so Wira and Sami still doing well. Sami trying to close that gap in on Wira. Was just shy of a second quicker last time around. No, we don't get sector data up on the timings board. Towards the inside of pit straight, trying to break that slipstream. Probably just over half a second quicker than Wira that time again. He is starting to close that gap down. And that will be looking good for Sami and Wira. Did see Gallen drop back very early on. I think he may have actually already been in and pit in those first couple of laps. Went from 8th position down into 11th and he's made his way back up. Setting some 202s, only 35 seconds behind the pack. If he has been in and actually served that mandatory pit requirement, that car can last out the remainder of the race. I could definitely see him come back out in front of the field after they all battle it out and actually head off into the pits. However, Gallen will need to endure a long stint with no short break in between. That will need to come into play. Really looking to recover some lost ground after having the spin up, making contact to the tail of Mark. Now sitting hot tight on T-Rex's tail. T-Rex gets away a lot quicker. Very nice line by Philly, carries a lot more corner speed. Follows through on the final corner as well. Don't forget to jump in the chat, don't be shy, let us know who you think is going to get this win. Is Demon going to continue through? He's very well on the lines for potentially a clean sweep. Hopefully manages to get around. He's now recovered back up into 5th position. A little bit off pace that last lap. He's dropped back a little bit from Wira. However, Wira just seemed to have misjudged that corner and really dropped off some speed. That gap's really closed in. Down onto the bumper of Sami's car. He's chasing down Wira. Runs a little bit wide. Loses a lot of that corner speed for the following turn. Nice and wide. Turns in. Isolate gets a good run in. line by Sami. Billy and Mark close at it again. Some deja vu going on for the two here. They don't want to be involved in an incident here. Tries to position for an outside line through the final corner, swings out, goes to that inside line. I don't think it's probably going to be enough to get out ahead of him. He's going to probably be able to get enough track position to force Mark to yield. He's going to own that track position coming down the turn one. He does. Mark relinquishes that position. He'll have right away as he's going to approach into that corner. Going to have to get him at another spot. Perhaps also playing a little bit of a more cautious approach in being defensive after the shunt that the two had only just a couple of laps ago. T-Rex also coming to join up into the battle for 4th position. See Philly get around T-Rex, then Mark. Whether a mistake by Philly has just cost him that position, and possibly another one. T-Rex getting a very good run on through that back straight. Is he going to have enough track position to turn through? It's a left sharp left-hand turn. Philly is going to own the track position coming in. Will he slip? He's carrying a lot of speed. DK Rush currently in 8th position. Simo's just head into the pits. He's just been in, got some tyres and on his way back out now. Opting to pit on lap 9. That's less than halfway. It's very narrowly avoided. Simo out of the pit exit, having to pull up and actually wait for someone to come through, as that pit exit line is actually right across the apex. As pulling out there could have potentially had quite a huge incident between Sami and Simo. Back up into position 4 again. I think Mark is definitely not getting as good pace out of that car currently. Very well could be from the damage taken to that tail. Starting to see some lap times drop off a little bit. Even our race leader, Demon, now seeing 2:01s. Was getting some pretty consistent 2-minute times. He's still leading the race. Lap 10 by 12.7 seconds. Dirty Monkey and DK Rush going to battle it out for 7th position. Battles going on. Suddenly starting to close in again on Wirra. These two, just as they close that gap in, it starts to pull back away. T-Rex still holding on. Oh, there's been a spin. That is Mark. He's gone for the spin. Hard to tell from those visuals, but I do have a feeling he's probably suffering from a little bit of rear aero. So that car's definitely won't be up to scratch if that's the case. His strategy for pitting was around the halfway point. It's probably a good idea to get the car in and get it sorted now. Sami's still trying to chase down Wirra. Effect still thinking is the only car out there. He hasn't seen anyone for majority of the race. Already had a 2-second lead just in the first lap. We'll have a look at what the fastest lap of the race is so far. I think it's a 2-minute 7:69. That's by Gallon 350. So that is an advantage for Gallon with getting those championship points. Pretty sure he did pit. I didn't pay attention to see if the pit indicators were going up, but we've got Wirra heading into the pits now, so that means Sami moves up into P2. So only a few laps shy of the halfway point. Gonna have ample fuel to get through, so it's going to be, whether he's just going to do a drive-through or if he's going to be getting tyres. I don't think he's got any damage. He's definitely going for tyres by the look of things, so it's quite a long pit stop. Drivers aren't actually capable of, required to actually have any changes done to the car. It isn't a condition that they must change tyres. They can simply just pull up and then just go. So it is a strategy as well. So we do see a good mix of tyres being used with a blend of soft compound and hard compounds. Wirra rejoins the race. He was our first race leader to pit in. And that's seen him come in out behind Gallon, or he's just ran wide. So if Gallon has already been in and pit in those first couple of laps and has come out just in front, well, how many seconds? He's good 11 seconds ahead of Wirra. And Wirra was about 12 seconds behind our race leader, Demon Effects. That means we could see Gallon move up from the very back of the field all the way to essentially the race lead, especially if Demon Effect starts to drop those lap times off a little bit. Otherwise we could see him come back out only just a second or two ahead of Gallon. With Gallon, his closest competitor for the championship win being DK Rush. Only needs to finish well and truly ahead of DK. Gallon taking third, could see him at about 958 points. Sami was to get a win, it'd be around 936 points roughly. That's not taking into account fastest lap bonus points or the qualifying points. Those are solely the points they've come into for the round and their race finishing points. No worries, Skitty. Unfortunate having to work. Larky disconnected right at the end of the qualifying session and not making the start of the race. Also missing DG to work as well, I believe. And missing Kakadu as well. He was online. I think he may have been practicing with the guys before. I think he may have actually been away from the console. Not able to accept the session invite and get in time. We should be having some new debuters running with us for our opening round of the Ferrari series next week. Oh no, that's a spin out by T-Rex. I don't think there's been any contact with another car. That's cost him position. I think he narrowly avoided Gallen, so that's allowed Gallen to move up into position 5. He's hunting down DK, who also needs to head into the pits. Philly's now going into pit lane. That sees DK and Gallen move up a position. Gallen's strategy for the early pit definitely paying off. He's only 41 seconds away from the race lead now. With the difference in those pit stop times, I think he will definitely at least get ahead of Sami. It's going to be very marginal. Oh, Gallen cuts that corner, so that's going to be a slowdown for him. He's going to have to decide here whether he does actually back off and comply with race control or ignore it and just take a time-second penalty. Sometimes they're trying to get that car down to the right amount of speed to wane that penalty off. It actually usually costs you more than the amount of time that you actually get infringed with post-race. There hasn't been anything come up yet, so it looks like, well, Demon Effect's heading into the pits now. It's the race leader pitting in. This will be the moment of truth for Gallen's strategy. Will it have him come up? He's 36 seconds away. We're seeing about 29 seconds in and out for the pits. That's pit lane approach and exit plus the stop. Sami moves up into the race lead. He will need to pit. Demon is still sitting. DK is 28 seconds away. Gallen 29. Demon's away. Will DK head into the pits now? So we're past the halfway point. And it looks like we have clear conditions. So we did have 3 weather progressions, and it is sync to race. That means each section of those weather schedules will be completely random. There is still some light clouds, so we could see it clear out and get a lot more. The Demon has come back out. About 10 seconds ahead of DK and Gallen. DK needing to pit in soon. Got plenty of fuel. Gallen won't have to try and battle him out too much. As he'll just get around him once DK heads into the pits. Runs rather wide on that corner. We saw him do that a couple of laps ago as well. T-Rex having fallen down into 9th position after that spin. We have Simo Simsel in 11th position. And Cliff currently in 10th. Good to see he's not having any technical issues with some disconnects tonight. T-Rex in 9th. And there we have Sami heading into the pits now as well. It's going to allow Demon Effects to take back the race lead. So Dirty Monkey in 7th. Marky Mark in, sorry, Dirty Monkey is 8th. Marky Mark in 7th. Philly in 6th position. in 5th, both having pit as well. Gallen in 4th position. Damon reclaims the race lead. Asami is in the pits. Will Gallen recover a position here? He's going to be racing him down pit straight. Bring up the map. You can see the white dot. Gallen passes him. Gallen moves up into position 3. It'd be interesting to see if the other drivers did notice on whether Gallen has already pit or not. As all the overlays on the screen is customizable for each driver. Some drivers have nothing up on the screen. Sami's come out from his mandatory pit, only just ahead of Wirra. BK currently in 10th position. And the good thing for our championship leader, Gallen, doesn't necessarily have to aim for the win. He would be more than happy to just sit back and not really push those lap times to try and close that gap in on Demon. He can just let him have those points. What's slippery for DK? He compensates and gets through that corner nicely. Gallen can take position 2. That's 216 points. It's 240 points for a win. And Demon is not able to take the championship win. Does not have enough points in that coming into round 4 to do that, unless there was a significant amount of post-race incident penalty points being applied or a disconnect. With Gallen only missing out by 2 points difference in qualifying from him and DK, who is closest competitor. So only 60 points separating them coming into the start of the final round. Even a position 2 by DK Rush would not actually hamper Gallen much at all. He's trailing by 60 points, so from qualifying that's only a difference of 2 points. Difference between 2nd and 3rd. Looks like it's 14 points difference. So Gallen only needs to finish in 3rd. It will be fine. We'll have some pressure from Sami. Sami is a little bit more further behind, so he could also even afford to lose out a position in that back end. Since he has a pit, he's going to have another 10 laps to go. He's got to last out the remaining 10 laps. So will those tyres hold up if that's the case? Ample fuel. It's running traction control. Army isn't. That could be strategy there. Now it's probably going to just try and keep some consistent lap times. And we do need to see DK head into the pits. He's going to lose out that position. Gallen can still at least finish ahead of his closest competitor. And that is one advantage if he is having to contend with fatigue over the remaining laps, rather than trying to play defensively and battle it out. if Sami was to start making some moves to get around. Just relinquishing the position and tucking in behind probably be quite beneficial. A few more seconds behind is from Sami is Wirra. Really 26 seconds behind Wirra. Mark after having the spin. Dropping again to 7th position. I do believe he was contending with that damage early on after the shunt with Philly. Lap 18 of 27. Demon has led for all the laps except for heading in for his mandatory pit. Still getting some consistent 2-minute times. Gallen still doing well to keep Sami at bay. Could very well be slightly different come those last laps. If Gallen's strategy doesn't play out, and those tyres are going to be starting to wear out. We did see him a couple of rounds ago really struggling with the tyres towards the back end of the race. He did try and make them last out and they were quite slippery, costing him several positions. But it is a huge gamble. Could very well get him a very strong finish. Whether in those last few laps it could very well come undone for him and see him fall down towards the back of the field. He's definitely closing in pretty quickly on DK. DK needs to get into the pits. Lap times are starting to really drop off. I think he's trying to push out as long as he can. Maybe contemplating lasting out as long as you can on these tyres and maybe swap over for some softs for those remaining last laps, then absolutely put them through their pace. You can see that car's very slippery for DK, even coming through the final corner was a little bit loose. He brings that into the pits now. Those rubbers are well and truly done for. Been out there for 19 laps. Demon Effects now leading race by 16 seconds. Gallen moves up into position 2. Sami sitting hot time on Gallen's tail. See Sami really closing in over Gallen, getting away through that last section of the S is a little bit quicker. Get through the last 7 laps of the race. Seeing only about 14 minutes remaining for the race. Time progression is set to times 2. So that'll simulate about half an hour of in-game time. You can see those weather conditions are clear, the skies are nice and clear, track temperatures are going to start going up quite quickly. We are seeing game time roughly around midday, 1 p.m. Demon Effect starting to come up to some back markers. Simo Simsel, first car to be caught back up to. Demon Effect's not having seen many cars out on track for majority of the race. Simo takes that very wide line through turn 1, allowing Demon through nice, quickly and cleanly. This is where things could get interesting and potentially see Gallon close that gap in a little bit more on Demon. Demon doesn't get around any of the lap cars too quickly and get slowed up. Good thing about Coterie is there are lots of opportunities for passes. And if drivers are to actually just run off wide and let a car through, you can do that relatively safely as they're not going out into kitty litter or the grass. There's a concrete jungle out there, so there's lots of safe runoffs. Taking a very wide line on that corner again, even dropping tyres off into the grass as he brings the car back on. Mark starting to close down on T-Rex. He was 2 seconds off from T-Rex's pace last lap, however, really putting it over him. Gets past him in the S's. T-Rex goes for the spin. Hasn't taken any damage, so he's recovered that car. Mitcliffe in the pits. I'm not sure if he's already been in and pit as well. Dami now battling it out with Gallon to take position 2 away from him. As I mentioned before, Gallon doesn't need to play overly aggressive in defending. He does not need to finish ahead of Sami. If he can get a 2-3 finish with Sami taking that spot just ahead of him, he's going to definitely have the championship win still. Just needs to finish well and truly ahead of DK Rush, and the championship will be Gallon's. DK not having too much luck after seeing him run wide early. He was on lap 1 or 2. We saw him lay down some great times in the practice session, laying down that final lap, getting into the 158s. A little bit of a cluster going on that turn 1. Not sure if the incident between Philly and Wirra may have actually caused issues. Oh, Gallons just spun around, narrowly avoids Wirra. Wirra now moves up to position 3, but they're still side by side as they go down that back straight. Gallons going to have an advantage for into turn 1. Oh, sorry, turn 1 into the left turn. But he's moved back over and let that through. As Wirra is also another driver he doesn't have to really worry about. A little bit slippery for Wirra as well. He's lost some speed. That's going to allow Gallon to reclose that gap. There'll definitely be some fatigue setting in on these drivers currently. There's 5 laps remaining. Really starting to close in on DK Rush. Oh, DK, a little bit of oversteer coming through that sharp left-hand corner. Narrowly spinning out. Philly nearly T-boning him, pulls that car up just in time. DK misjudging that next corner. I think there's probably a bit of fatigue setting in for DK, just depending on how he went with his pit strategy. Or if he did swap out for those tyres. His lap times have dwindled off a little bit. Last time at 2:03, Philly setting a 2:08.85. Demon Effect still out front, nailing 2-minute 9:20. Gallon currently in 4th position, is 2 seconds behind Wera. There's 4 laps remaining. Philly does have a 2-second time penalty to be applied post-race. If DK and Philly still sit pretty tight between each other, he could reclaim a position. He's only 1 second currently away. We'll have a look to see who's got the fastest lap time. It was Gallon before. I think it's now been taken by Demon Effects. So that's a 2-minute 1:61. That's also to the advantage of Gallon 350. So we could very well see a clean sweep in the final round by Demon Effects. Not enough to take the championship win, but definitely I think he could have a shot at the podium. To be running 6th in the championship with 596 points. Nailing a clean sweep. And then landing on the podium for the championship finish will be fantastic. The championship leader looking very good currently. Three laps remain now. Demon having a solid lead over the rest of the race, 19 seconds. He's had a phenomenal drive tonight. Current positions with Sami coming second, not taking into account his qualifying points. He'd be finishing on 936 points. We're finishing in 3rd. We'll see him with 843 points. And if Gallon finishes in 4th position, it will be 942 points. Very well be very close with the qualifying points, so I'm just going to quickly look at my screenshots just to see Sami qualified. So Sami qualified in 3rd position, Gallon in 7th, so that could very well mean they'd be very close indeed for finishing the championship. Worth 21 points, and then qualifying in 7th is 13. That's 8 points difference. So if that is the case, I think Gallon 350 finishing in 4th position. Could see him lose the championship to Sami, where it stands by only 2 points. The Sami looking very good currently. Gallon needs to recover at least 1 position. He can recover that 1 position, he'll definitely have the championship win. or if he can get that fastest lap bonus points currently. He needs to beat a 2-minute 1:61. Fastest time out there is a 2-minute 7:69. Let us know if you did share that post with calling Demon Effects for the win. If you did, you're definitely in a shot to win that stubby cooler. Hey Neil, thanks for joining us. Going well, mate. How are you? We're now just starting lap 26 of 27. Demons led for majority of the race. Sami having moved up into position 2 after Gallen dropping back 2 positions and dropping off as well. This could be where things are going wrong from his very early pit stop. Those tyres could start to be skating around on track. Ooh, a little bit of a lag spike. Hopefully there's no disconnect for anyone. Philly's having to make in for another pit. He hasn't got enough fuel to get through. I did notice before he was running slightly lighter than Demon Effects was running. So he was running significantly more. So he's got 11 litres. Sami with 10 litres. We're with 19. Gallen even with 21. Possibly part of that early pit strategy, having pit in the first opening laps. Try and allow that extra grip down onto that rear and not chew those tyres up nice and early. Yeah, mate, this track is a fantastic track. The guys are probably not quite used to it after using it on our demolition right. I'm not sure if Demon thought he may have been on the final lap then, was going to potentially handbrake it across the line with only 1 lap to go. We have seen it happen before where drivers have thought they were on that final lap. Even I think it was Sami one race did actually pull up thinking he had ample time to do a burnout across the finish line, only to see cars drive past him and lose that win. We did use Circuit of the Americas in our no rules race. There's lots of good spots on this track to cut through when there is no track limit set. The guy's doing very well, and only 1 slowdown penalty abided by. That's probably going to be... Oh, we've just had someone retire out. I think Philly just retired out. So you did just see him going for fuel on the last lap. This racer that had Demon Effects written all over it, having a great practice session, nailing the pole position, is led for majority of the race, and he's also currently got the fastest lap out there, so he's got those bonus points. I think it's a little bit tough for Gallen to try and steal that back. And if Sami crosses the line in position 2, then that will see Sami win the championship. Flash of the lights as Demon crosses the line, taking the checkers for the final race. Pulls her up. Well done, Demon. A solid drive. That's a well-earned win. For all our viewers, we will be inviting in our podium for a chat at the end. And it looks like it's most likely Sami will be taking home the Next Level Racing wheel stand light. Pulls up to do a burnout across the line. He's got a bit of time. A little bit of a slip. Vera crosses on the podium as well in position 3. Garland slides that car across the line in position 4. Well done. So with only a difference of about 2 points now from doing my manual calculations from Gallen's finishing position and Sami's and with them qualifying. It's probably going to be a little bit hard to try and call as to who would be the winner, as it could very well come down to instance. There was a little bit of issues going on in that first lap. And DK crosses the line in 5th. Simo having a bit of fun slowing that car across the line. Marky Mark crosses in 6th position. T-Rex in 7th. Dirty Monkeys 47 seconds to wrap up the last lap. That's AI driving, and there we have results for the final race, final round of the Pagnian Imports RSO1 Trophy. Demon Effects takes the clean sweep by the looks of things. Is it still the 2-minute 161 as the quickest time? I do believe so. So that's pole, win, and fastest laps. What a way to finish the final round. So congratulations, Demon Effects. Also on the podium is Sami, who I do believe that would be enough to now get him to win the championship by a mere 2 points. And then Wira Dejuri on the podium in 3rd position, followed by Gallen 350, DK Rush, Marky Mark, T-Rex, Dirty Monkey, Mick Cliff, and Simo Simsel, and Philly Manilli retiring out on that second last lap after having nearly run out of fuel. That was very unfortunate. So we'll be inviting in our podium finishers for an invite. I'll load that up in a moment as we bring them in. So we'll have Demon, Sami, and Wira. We might even get Gallen in as well. I have to try and find their names in my long list. I'll have them join through in just a moment. Going to pass on your congratulations to any of the drivers or ask any questions about how their race went. Be sure to throw it into the chat. I can relay it through to our drivers as they join in. We're getting them all in at the moment. That Demon, Wira.
From my calculations.
Sami. Demon, have we got Demon in?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Yeah, congratulations, Demon. Clean sweep in the final round. I think you must have been out there just doing a private testing for the majority of the race, for about a 12-second lead over the rest of them.
Yeah, not at all. But it was very pleasing to come first. I think it's my first win in Apex, so...
Oh, well done. It was a very great drive throughout practice, qualifying, and then the race as well.
Yeah, once I got a good start, I saw Sami and Wira battling, so I thought, I'm just going to go hard here and try and get a gap, and hopefully I can get a bit of a gap from them. And it just kept growing, so
yeah,
I was pretty happy. Once
30-second lead at the end of the race, that's fantastic.
Yeah, once I pitted, I thought I'll just take it easy now, no spinning, don't want to spin, just manage. So it was good.
And congratulations, Sami, position 2.
Yeah, thanks, JT.
It was pretty close, so I was doing some calculations for the championship with going forward with you and Gallen, I think, with your qualifying positions. And if Gallen had taken 3rd position, he would have had enough points to take the championship. So I think you just are ahead by 2 points.
Yeah,
so very tight.
Yeah, it was tight. Actually. It was, good to for it all to come down to that too. Right at the last race sort of thing. So and have a lot of guys sort of competing for it, which is great.
Yeah, it was great seeing those battles out there. And we're well down on the podium again, mate.
Yeah, cheers, JT, mate. I didn't have the car, mate, from start to finish, mate. It was woeful, mate, the moment I just sort of got it out on track, mate. But, mate, congratulations, Demon. Great job, mate. Great win. Sami, mate, great second place, mate. Well done, guys.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, congratulations, Dame. It's good to have you back too, mate. Racing with us too.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I didn't get to practice with you guys, so I had no idea what it was a good time before. And then when I got a quali time, I went, okay, I'm all right.
You definitely shocked us, that's for sure, when you come out and did a low one, 58.4, which was
I was actually
great.
3/10 up in that last lap, but I binned the last corner and didn't get a good exit. So
good stuff, mate.
Anyway, thank you very much for everyone. I think it was been a great season, and thank you to JT.
Yeah, no, I'd just like to thank JT, mate, and the rest of the drivers, mate. Great season, great championship. Hope to see us all in the next one.
It's going to be pretty exciting in the Ferraris. It's going to be some pretty tight racing again.
Can't wait, JT. Can't wait, mate.
Yeehaw.
Very tight between Sami and Gallen. I don't think he's got caught up in any instance that possibly cost points. So it's either the two of yous for that win, so that next level racing will stand gets to go to you guys, or one of you guys.
Oh, that's...
Well, which one, JT? Which one is it, mate? Awesome job, boys. Awesome.
I think Gal's sort of taken it out, and it's well deserved. And I gave him a little bit of a tap there through one of the corners, and just to remind him that I was there, sort of thing.
There was a nice wake up call. It's like, oh. Well, I had a strategy, pitted early, first lap, and keep the tyres up temp, and they just faded away. Tyre temps couldn't hold the temperature, and next thing I had the understeer, couldn't put it to you guys. But Demon,
well early on though, you did move up very quickly as everyone started peeling into the pits, and it wasn't until those last few laps that you sort of started to dwindle off as those tyres were done.
Yeah, just wasn't enough left in them. Temperatures dropped in them on the hards, and couldn't persevere with it any longer. But Demon, awesome job, bud. Well done.
Yep. Thank
Top
you very
drive,
much.
mate. Great comeback. Sami, great competition as always, buddy. And Wira, awesome drive.
Yeah, thanks, Gal, mate. It's been a pleasure, mate, racing with you.
Cheers.
And I think either Sami or Gallen has an announcement to make as well.
Yeah, Gal, isn't it? There you go. You're the winner of the championship, mate.
Well, at this stage, unofficially, on behalf of everybody, thank you, Pagnian Imports, Next Level Racing, for jumping on board. If I've confirmed the championship, I'd like to donate the steering wheel prize to Mick Cliff, as he's a top guy. He's got himself a wheel now. We want to set him up. I'm pretty sure that's what all the boys would like to do as well. So, there you go, buddy. Cheers,
Yeah,
mate.
that was too good, fellas. And thanks to Pagnian and everything, and JT for running the series.
No worries. Well earned.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
fellas.
you deserve it, mate. Good work.
I
Yeah,
second that. Well done.
don't know what to say. No one
Don't
gives
have
me
to say
anything,
anything,
so
brother.
I'm happy.
That's alright.
Yeah, thanks
You'll
to,
be making them regret it very soon, I'm pretty sure, Mick.
Yeah,
Once we start
hopefully.
seeing your name at the top of every championship from now on.
Yeah, I've got to remember not to let go of the wheel as well.
Yeah,
I didn't
just on
realise
that,
that it
JT,
just goes side to side.
Thanks to Pagnian too, and Next Level Racing for donating that prize. That was awesome, and hopefully we can get some more people on board to in the next couple of series as well. We're trying hard, so
Yeah, massive shout out. Massive shout
New
out. to Pagnian.
debuts next series as well, so some of the iRacing guys are coming across, so it's going to be good.
Ooh.
a huge thank you to you,
The enemy-
JT,
the enemy.
for the time and effort that you sort of put in and put these on for us, which was great. So
Unbelievable.
Pleasure.
Hats off, brother.
Thanks, guys, and we look forward to
Nice.
seeing his race next week.
Yeah, congrats all.
Cheers,
Top driver.
JT.
Well done, mate.
Congrats
Well
on
done.
the
Champagne,
guys.
boys.
Thanks,
Well
fellas.
done, guys.
He's a legend.
So yes.
Yeah.
There we have Demon, Sami, Wira, Gallon, and Mick Cliff. And then it is going to be very contested for the championship with Sami and Gallon. It's going to be very tight, so if it is my maths correct, it will be only a difference of about 2 points. So do stay tuned. You can head to our Facebook page, fb.com/Apex Esports League, and you will see the results and standings and who gets that. Hopefully I can get to that in the next coming days, as we are preparing to drive in the iRacing Bathurst 1000 on Saturday. So next week we will be having the start of a new series, and that is the Ferrari 488 Challenge, and that is also still sponsored by Pagnian Imports and Next Level Racing. Round 1 is Sonoma Raceway GP. It's another 5-round series. It will be broadcast at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time as the usual times, so be sure to hit that follow button so you can be notified. We will be having our opening round of the NASCAR Cup on Monday for the iRacing as well, so do stay tuned. Thanks for joining us and hope to see you trackside.